So I was thinking about this, and I was just thinking about just a regular, like, bar chord, E-shaped bar chord. And for the purposes of this example, we'll just do it in C major. So that's 8th fret bar chord. And, that sounds great. Everybody loves bar chords. That's like the foundation of rock and roll. But you don't always want that much sound. If you have a bass and you have drums, maybe you have a keyboard, maybe there's another guitar, a singer, and you're just doing all this it's just covering so much ground. Lowest note. Let me switch to my neck pickup. You have your lowest note here and your highest note here. That's a lot of range. Now, if we just sort of break that bar chord down, just arpeggiate it for a second here. Well, it all sounds good. So what happens if we start breaking it down into like 3-note chunks? So the first 3 notes. Oh, that's just your regular power chord. Pretty cool, but that's not a triad. You only have 2 of the 3 notes that make up a triad. A C major triad would be C, E, and G. But what happens if we move to the next group of 3, the A string, the D string, and the G string? Ah, there's a triad. What about the next set? Ah, there's another triad, C, E, and G, all in order right there. And then, so instead of always playing, you can start playing these little triads. So there's this big full sounding chord, but then you don't have to necessarily know all the note names to know that you could do the exact same thing on G or A or B flat. The shapes stay the same up and down the neck. So the next time you're just messing around with a bunch of big full bar chords, start taking a look at those smaller groups of strings. And then you can even go up to the F chord here, which is the A major shape. You have that same power chord here, but the next set of 3, well, there's an F major, and then the next set, that's also an F triad. If you're doing like C, F, and G, you could also do And of course, there's other options. We haven't touched on minor. But the same thing applies to C minor as C major. So the only difference is you drop that note. So we got a C minor triad. Another C minor triad. C minor triad. Which means you can play those notes over a C bass without having that big, which isn't always what you want. Yeah, that sounds rock and roll, but it's not always what you want. See how much subtlety you get? And I'm banging the hell out of the strings right now. And the same thing even applies to like a 7 chord. That nice bluesy 7 chord. What are the shapes there? Ooh, that one sounds good. And then the next group. But then you go up to that final set of 3, and that's just a major chord. Anyway, I hope this has been helpful. I hope it gets you thinking about different ways to sort of spice up your rhythm playing, to break out of playing bar chords all the time. I know it's a rite of passage for guitar players to learn how to play bar chords, but I think it sounds a lot better for most kinds of music to stop playing those big, clumsy bar chords all the time. There's certain kinds of music where it works. There's some finger picking stuff where that's like really your only option, because if you want to play anyways, like, subscribe, do that whole thing, and I'll catch you in the next video.